Okay, today's lesson is going to be trig review from grade 10, which you learned about right triangles. Okay, some things you learned about right triangles. You learned that there is a formula if you are given two sides to find the third side. This is Pythagorean theorem. You also used SOHCAHTOA as a method when you would have an angle, a side, or only two sides and need an angle. Okay, so let's look at Pythagorean theorem. Let's do two examples. So example 1, what if I give you that? Okay, so when you look at this, you're finding the third side, which is the longest side, remembering that the hypotenuse is located across from the 90-degree angle and it will be the longest side. So in the formula, that would be the C. So finding the longest side would be adding the values. So I'm going to be doing 2 squared plus 9 squared. So in my calculator, we can go 2 squared, which is 4, plus 9 squared. So you're getting 85, but then we have to remember that that is C squared, so we need to square root it. So we should get 9.22. Okay, then the other way to use that formula would be, what if I gave you those two sides? So in this case, when you think about the formula, you already have the C squared, that's the longest side. So if you're finding a shorter side, you should be doing subtraction. So subtraction would look like this. So 13 squared, subtract 12 squared in my calculator is 25. So therefore I know that this side is 5. Okay. SOHCAHTOA ratios, just a recap. So what if I had this triangle with 5, 12, and 13? If I thought about this angle, if I wanted to do the sine of this angle, it would be taking the opposite side, so that would be the 5, over the hypotenuse. So that would be the ratio of my sine of x. So you're using this as your fraction, O over H. So cosine of x would be the A, which is the adjacent side, so 12 over the hypotenuse, which is 13. The tangent ratio of x is the opposite side, which we discovered was 5, over the adjacent side, 12. Okay, what about solving? So what if I give you an example like this? We'll go side length 4, we know that's a right, and we know that's angle 30. Okay, so I go into my SOHCAHTOA, I know I'm identifying this as my opposite side, and this is my adjacent side. So picking SOHCA or TOA, I would pick TOA. So that means I'm going to use the tan of 30 is equivalent to the ratio of the O divided by the A. So therefore, if I put that over 1 like that and think about cross multiplying, I'm going to go 4 divided by tan 30. So in your calculator, it would look like this. 4 divided by tan of 30 degrees is 6.93. Okay, what if you were to find an angle? So what if I go like this? And let's just use, let's go that. And I want to find that angle. Okay, so you look at the angle and you say, is it the SOHCA or TOA? So I'm going to go, this is my O, and 13 is my H. So the SOHCAHTOA I would pick is SO. So I'm going to pick sine of angle is the ratio of the O divided by H. Now if I want to find that angle, you have to now do the inverse, because sine inverse is the opposite of doing the sine. That gets rid of it, and I get my angle. So what is the sine inverse of 5 divided by 13? So I'm going to go like here now, and you can see me push the second function sine button, and you see that little -1 symbol. Brackets 5 divided by 13 equals 22.6 degrees. Okay, so that rule is if you are ever finding an angle, press the inverse function. Okay, just some things that you need to know, some facts that were taught to you in the past. If I have 3 angles in a triangle, they would add up to total 180 degrees. Okay, you need to know that. And the other thing is labeling. So if this is an angle, it would be used as a capital letter, and its matching side would be across from it with a lowercase. So if that's an angle B, this is a side B, and if that's a C angle, this is a side C angle. Okay, and then there's also one more thing. The smallest angle would be across from the smallest side. Okay, and so there would also be a pattern. The largest angle would be across from the largest side. Okay, you can get started on your grade 10 trig recap.